You already know the trick answers don't work. Nobody smart still says, "I'm a perfectionist." That advice won years ago. So you do the sensible, modern thing. You name a real weakness and say you're working on it. And you can still walk out of that room having quietly talked yourself out of the job. Because here's what nobody tells you. That advice, a real weakness you're improving, got so popular that the person across the desk now hears it as a script. They can almost finish your sentence for you. And worse, in trying to be honest, most people reach for a weakness that lands right on the thing the job needs most. Let me tell you what's actually happening on the other side of that desk when they ask this, because the question was never really about your weakness. I'm Robin, a career coach built by the team at Longbow, and I've watched this one answer quietly sink interviews that were going great. So here's how to give a real answer that's safe for the exact job you're after, and that actually sounds like you, not the template. Start with what they're actually measuring, because it changes everything. This question is a quiet test of 3 things at once. 1. Do you really know yourself? Can you name a genuine limitation without reaching for a script? 2. Can you talk about a flaw without getting defensive or unraveling? And 3, the big one, when you spot a weakness, do you go fix it or hide it? That last one has a name, coachability, and hiring managers rank it near the top of what predicts whether a new hire actually works out. Survey after survey, about 3 in 4 managers say self-awareness is one of the strongest signals that someone will succeed. So here's the reframe that changes how you answer. They are not afraid of your weakness. Everyone has them. What scares a hiring manager is a blind spot, a problem you don't even know you have. Which means a weakness you can name and manage is actually safer to hire than someone who insists they have none. So if the honest answer is the right one, why does it still go wrong so often? 2 reasons, and almost nobody warns you about either. The first, the formula gave itself away. A real weakness that I'm actively working on became such standard advice that interviewers can hear the shape of it coming. Delivered as a rehearsed line, it lands about as flat as the perfectionist answer it replaced. Because a genuine, slightly awkward answer builds more trust than a polished one. The second reason is the expensive one. Trying to be honest, people confess a weakness that happens to be a core part of the job. And one badly chosen weakness can quietly undo 45 minutes of a great interview. Because for one moment, you handed them a reason not to hire you. So the goal isn't just to be honest. It's to be honest about the right thing, in a way that sounds like a real memory instead of a memorized line. Here's the 3-part answer. Part 1, and this is where most people quietly lose. Pick a weakness that is real, but not central to the job. Both halves matter. Real because a fake one gets caught, but never a core requirement of this specific role. That's the weakness you must never name. If the posting says must manage a team, you do not say you're bad at delegating. If it's a deadline-driven role, you don't confess that you struggle to finish things. So before the interview, read the posting, find the 2 or 3 things the role absolutely requires, and take those completely off the table. Everything else is fair game. You want something true, something you've actually wrestled with, but something the job can easily survive. For example, and I'll build this one out as we go. For a long time, I was bad at asking for help. Real, common, and for most roles, completely safe. Part 2. Own it in one honest sentence, specific and with 0 spin. This is exactly where the template betrays people. They name a real weakness, then either start apologizing for it or twist it back into a brag, and the whole thing goes rehearsed. Don't. The power here is that you said a true, specific thing plainly. Not a category, a memory. So instead of, "I sometimes struggle with collaboration," which sounds like it came off a worksheet, you say, "For a long time, I tried to figure everything out on my own. I'd sit stuck on a problem far too long before admitting I needed help, and it slowed me and my team down. No, but really it's because I care too much." No nervous laugh, just an adult calmly naming a real limit. That specific, slightly uncomfortable honesty is the one thing a script can't fake. Part 3 is the one that turns a weakness into a reason to hire you. Show them the system. Don't just say you're working on it. That's the empty half of the formula, the part they've stopped believing. Show the specific thing you built to manage it and the proof that it worked. That's the line between someone who's merely self-aware and someone who actually changes. So you finish like this. So now I give myself a rule. If I've been stuck for 30 minutes, I have to ask. It was uncomfortable at first, but my last project shipped early because I stopped being the bottleneck. Now hear the whole thing together. For a long time, I tried to do everything myself. I'd stay stuck too long before asking, and it slowed the team down. So I made a rule: 30 minutes stuck, and I ask. My last project actually shipped early because of it. 40 seconds. The real weakness proves you're honest. The specific system proves you're safe to hire. That's what they were listening for the whole time. Last thing, 3 ways this still goes wrong. 1. The meme answers. I'm a perfectionist. I work too hard. Everyone's heard them, and they read as a dodge. 2. The expensive one. Naming a weakness the job simply can't survive. The core skill sitting right there in the posting. That's not honesty. That's talking yourself out of the offer. And 3. I don't really have one. That's not strength. It's the loudest self-awareness red flag you can wave. So, a real weakness that's safe for this job, owned in one specific sentence, with a system that proves you're already handling it. Here's the honest catch. The hardest part is that last piece of judgment. Which weakness is true, but still safe for this exact role? So paste the job you're interviewing for into Longbow at longbow.careers, and I'll help you find a real weakness that won't cost you that role, and build the system line to go with it, before you're ever in the chair. It's free. Now go tell them the truth. I'm Robin.